Okay, folks, pay attention. Remember, Satan comes as an angel of light, okay? And if you did not watch part one of my series of videos that I'm going to be doing about the 666, make sure you watch that one first, okay? Because this is part two right now. So go watch part one. I'm going to do a bunch of videos about 666 connecting to my two predictions. And you know what my my two predictions are is that Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio, and the other prediction is that there's going to be a spectacular event in Seattle, or basically King County, that whole Washington state, okay? So get out of Washington state before June 11th. All right, but if you can't get out of Washington, at least get out of King County, where Seattle is, before June 11th. So in part one of the 666 series, make sure you watch part one first. Okay, you're not going to understand it unless you watch part one. You got to watch all the parts in order. Anyway, so I'm going to show you just this one thing right here before I go into the 666 stuff. And I told you that when you write the name Elvis with the word birthday, because the birthday is a very important thing, right? And so the only name that equals, the only famous name that anyone knows is Elvis, that equals, with the word birthday, equals the exact same as the Antichrist. So the words the Antichrist, this is what it equals, forward and backward. It equals exactly the same as Elvis birthday. Okay, so that means that Elvis birthday is the Antichrist. It's telling you right there. And you know Elvis, he had an identical twin that died at birth. And his identical twin, like I said, who died at birth, his name was Jesse. And this is how it's spelled on the gravestone. But anyway, Elvis was born on 1/8, and so was his twin, born on 1/8. Okay? And if you say the date backwards, it would be 8/1, like they say in the UK. Look what happens. If you add that up, it's 2/16 and 16/2. And those are my two prediction dates. The 216th day of the year is August 4th, the day Trump gets his head wound. And the 162nd day of the year is June 11th, the day I'm telling you that Seattle, Washington State gets struck. Okay? And I can show you a lot of things with that equation that I just showed you, but I'm going to move on because we're talking about the 666 here. So remember in the last video, I explained to you that his name means God sixes. Okay? So make sure you go watch part one to understand that. So pay attention closely. Like I said, everything connected to Elvis connects to the 666. His full name, Elvis Aaron Presley, like it's spelled on his gravestone, equals 216. And what do I say when I'm saying, what does that mean that it equals 216? So if you just take every letter of the alphabet of his name, I put what it is in the alphabet. E is the 5th letter of the alphabet, L is 12, and so on. So each letter, you take it and then you add it up, and it's 216, okay, of his full name. And why am I showing you that? Because Elvis Aaron Presley, his full name equaling 216, connects to the 666. Because 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. You see? And interestingly enough, Elvis was born on 1/8, which kind of looks like the number 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. See what I mean? Everything connected to Elvis connects to the 666. And I told you he's born on 1/8. His twin was born on 1/8. You add it up, it's 216. Or 16/2. And that's August 4th, June 11th, my two predictions. But like I said, this is the more important thing, the fact that his full name equals 216, and 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. And it just so happens that August 4th is the 216th day of the year, which is Obama's birthday. And that's the reason why he was chosen to be the president before Trump, because Trump is the one who gets the head wound on August 4th, Obama's birthday, which is the 216th day of the year, which connects to the 666, right? And Elvis Presley. Anyway, Trump is born on 6/14, right? It just so happens that 6 times 14 equals 84. And there's his head wound day, 8/4. Okay? I mean, I could show you a lot more connections. I'm just trying to stick to the, to the 216 here. And remember, Obama's born on August 4th, right? And that's the day Trump gets his head wound. Obama was president in 2016, which looks like the number's 216. And the O is a crown. I told you the letter O, or the number 0, it can be a 0 or a crown, or the letter O can be a crown. So Obama was president in 2016. Trump was elected in 2016. Trump becomes president in 2017. And why is that important? Because August 4th is the 216th day of the year and 217th day in leap year. So it connects to the 216, 217. That's when Trump was elected and became president. You see what I'm saying? How it all connects? Okay? And the fact that Obama was born on August 4th and Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. And next year, because it has to connect to both, because he became president in 2017, so it has to connect to the 16 and 17. And Elvis was born in the 16th state, Tennessee. Not born, I'm sorry. Elvis died in the 16th state, Tennessee, and Trump's going to get his head wound in the 17th state, which is Ohio. See, do you get what I'm saying? Anyway, so it's a 216, 217, and he was elected in 2016, and Trump became president in 2017. Get it? 216, 217. And just look at all the crazy coincidences. Like I said, August 4th is a 216, 217th day of the year. And if you add that up, 216, 217 equals 433. The day Trump, the year Trump was elected, 2016, 2017, he became president, is 4033. 433 with a crown. Get it? So it's 433. The 84th prime number is 433. That's the day that Obama was born and the day Trump gets his head wound. Okay? The 216th day of the year, and Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. Look, George Washington had 2 birthdays. Seattle's in Washington State. There's 2 Washingtons. Get it? Washington, D.C. and the state of Washington. George Washington has 2 birthdays. 2/11 was his original birthday. 2/22 is his celebrated birthday. That equals 433 if you add it up. You see? And when Elvis was born in 1935, if you went from Elvis's birthday to 6/11 and you add the day on the calculator, on the time and date calculator, if you add the day on a regular year, not a leap year, because he was born on a non-leap year, it's 155 days if you add the day. When you put 155 into the gematria calculator, it's the first number that equals 216. 155 is the first number that equals 216. You see, what is the chance of that? From Elvis's birthday to 6/11, the day I'm telling you Seattle gets struck. And what the big deal is, like I said, it's the first number in gematria. So if you were to put any other number before 155, it won't equal 216. This is the one. And I just told you the 216th day of the year is August 4th. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. Do you get it? And do you remember in the last video that I told you in Roman numerals, DCLXVI equals 666? And this is the breakdown of it. Okay? DCLXVI equals 666 in Roman numerals. And remember I told you to look at the numbers, all the numbers. It's 5 and 1, that's 6. 5 and 1, that's 6. 5 and 1, that's 6, right? But which is 666. But look, it's all 5s, 0s, and 1s, right? 5 zeros and 1s. Look, the name Satan is 5 zeros and 1s. Look at that. 5510 is Satan in the forward numbers. I didn't put the backward numbers because I wanted you to, because the forward numbers are more important. But Satan is 5510. It's all fives, ones, and zeros, see? Which I showed in the last video. And remember, I just told you that DCLXVI in Roman numerals is 666, right? So if you added the name Elvis with DCLXVI and put it into the gematria calculator, this is the forward numbers, right? And forget about the backward numbers, even though they're important, but let's just forget about that right now. Elvis with 666 in Roman numerals, DCLXVI, into the gematria calculator equals 141, 51, 192. It equals the exact same as June 11th in the forward numbers. This is the only date on the whole calendar that equals Elvis with the 666 in Roman numerals. No other date equals the same. None. Only June 11th. The day I'm telling you Seattle gets struck, okay? Now, what I want to emphasize, what I want you to pay attention to here is the 141. 141. And you'll see why in a moment. It's not this, but this is just an added, bonus here. So if you put DCLXVI with Elvis, I told you equals 141. June 11th equaled 141, the only date, right? Remember on the calendar that equaled the same as Elvis with the 666 Roman numerals. If you put Lucifer and Elvis, that equals 141. Seattle slew, the horse that won the Triple Crown on June 11th, the same year Elvis died. Slew means to violently kill. Sorry. Anyway, so Seattle Slew was the horse that won the Triple Crown the same year Elvis died on June 11th. Elvis died that same year on August 16th in 77. Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown June 11th, and I'm telling you that's when Seattle gets struck. It's going to be slewed. Slew means to violently kill. Anyway, I was just showing you the 141, and why am I showing you that? Because of this. You're going to understand it in a moment. So, if you look at the presidents, all right, President George Washington, he was the first president, and he's a George. And if you go from the first president to the 41st, remember 141 we're talking about, okay? 141. So George Washington to the next George, 141. Remember I just showed you 141 what it means. And then then the next one would be Bill Clinton, George Bush, Obama, and then Trump, the 45th, okay? And if you add this up, all this, look what you get, 216, and it ends with Trump. You see what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm showing you here? Because that's the day Trump gets his head wound on August 4th. Just ask yourself, what is the chance that it would be with the 141 beginning, okay? Because I explained to you that June 11th is the 141. Elvis with the 666 in Roman numerals is 141. Okay? That's why it had to be the 141 to get to this 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. And August 4th is the 216th day of the year, which is the day Trump gets his head wound, which happens to be Obama's birthday, which happens to be the president before Trump. You see what I mean? And this is going to be the last thing I show in this video. Even though I can show you tons of more connections, I'm just going to make it as short as possible. And remember, I told you, sticking to the theme of the 216, if you put a crown, remember the letter O, I told you the letter O is a crown. You put that on the 216. This is the first number in gematria that when you put a crown on it, this is what it does. You see how incredible that number is? So this is the first number, and that's 216. That's how important this number is. I told you. Anyway, hopefully that proved to you the importance of why 216 is so important besides everything else I showed you, Anyway, folks. But the main important thing is that you remember my two predictions. The Seattle event is on June 11th. The Trump head wound is on August 4th in Ohio. Okay? End of video.